Can 2025 officially be called the year of the flood in the United States? The answer is yes. There really have been more floods than we usually see. I'm meteorologist Andrew Markowitz, and we're going to go through scientifically why that's been the case. And before anybody says it, it has nothing to do with cloud seeding or chemtrails or weather manipulation or any other conspiracy theory. Since January 1st, we have had over 3,300 flash flood warnings in the United States, which is just over 16 per day. In 40 years of data, which is all that we have available, that is by far the most. The second place is 250 behind. Taking a look at our upper level pattern over the past month, we can see a few key features that have been driving the show. The first is a strong low pressure system way to our north in the Arctic. That is representative of the positive phase of the Arctic Oscillation, and that is responsible for sending the jet stream pretty far to our north. A farther north jet stream means that warmer air can lift farther north. We also have dual ridges, one over the Pacific Northwest and the other over the Northeast, and that happens to be where the most anomalous heat has been. In between is a bit of a no man's land zone, and that is where low pressures have tended to form and develop, including in the Gulf. This is why we have seen persistent southerly flow from the Gulf, which has helped to transport very warm and very humid air. This is driven primarily by unusually warm sea surface temperatures in the Gulf and especially out in the Atlantic. This means that our Bermuda High, which is a typical summertime feature, is much stronger than we typically see, and that sends a tropical air mass into the eastern U.S. Therefore, it's not too surprising that much of the central and eastern U.S. has seen much higher dew points than we typically see in a summer, if not the highest that we've ever seen. Higher dew points mean that when you step outside, it feels pretty muggy, and it also means that the atmosphere is highly unstable. An unstable atmosphere can produce thunderstorms, and with more moisture available in the atmosphere, that means that those storms have contained heavy downpours, which therefore have led to flooding. It's not too surprising that over the past 2 months, we have seen well above average rainfall across parts of the central and eastern U.S., with bullseyes in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, as well as in the mid-Atlantic. As a result, it's not too surprising that most of the 3,300 flash flood warnings have been between Texas and the Northeast. The one saving grace with this is the drought in the eastern half of the U.S., which in some places was pretty severe at the beginning of the year, has now been entirely erased. With this abundance of rainfall, that means that the soil is highly saturated, and so if we get additional storms, that means the threshold for flooding is lower than we typically see. With all of the deadly and severe flooding that we have seen across the country this year, it is a reminder that we need to be taking these warnings very seriously. For updates on severe weather all around the world, please make sure to follow me on all social media platforms so you can stay weather aware.